So it says to put these fractions in order from smallest to largest. And in order for us to understand what that means, we need to understand place value of decimals. So let's start with this first one right here. This one is 0 and 45 hundredths because the decimal means and. So really we could rewrite that in a fraction as 45 hundredths. The next one is 1 and 34 hundredths. So we know that it's a whole number 1 and there's 34 over 100. So when we look at these two numbers and comparing these two numbers, we would know that the 45 hundredths is smaller than the 1 and 34 hundredths because there is a whole number there. So let's continue on. We know that this number is 3 hundredths and this number is 2 and 3 hundredths. Now you might look at it and say, well, there's 3 hundredths and this one is 3 hundredths as well. Aren't they the same number? Well, the reason is because this number has a whole number here, and that whole number makes it a much larger number. So let's put these numbers in order from smallest to largest. So let's take a look at the smallest number in this case. Well, if we look at the two smallest numbers here, we know that the whole number, the two numbers that have the whole number, are definitely not small. So we can automatically eliminate those two. So let's go to the next two smallest numbers, which are this one and this one. And we can say, well, because the numbers are, the numerators are, or excuse me, the denominators are the same, we know that it's 100 and 100. So we know that the number 3 in this case here is smaller than 45 here. So I know that 3 hundredths is a smaller number. So I put that first. I then know that 45 hundredths is the next smallest number. From there, I can really just look at the whole numbers. I know that this is a 1 and 34 hundredths because of the one whole number, and 2 and 3 hundredths would be the next number. These numbers are in order from smallest to largest. Now, let's go to another problem where you have numbers that are very similar to each other. 3, 2, and a 4, and the number 0 are in this case. We really need to be cautious of our place value. So let's think about what our place value is. And in this case, we know this is 324 thousandths. So it's a little different than the numbers before. We know that the number 4 is in the thousandths space, so that's what we say there. With this number, we would say 3 wholes and 24 hundredths. So we can't really compare those numbers, although we are pretty certain that the 3 and 24 hundredths is a very large number because of the 3 whole numbers. From here we have 32 thousandths, and from here we have 3 tenths. So I think we're pretty certain that the largest number in this case would be the 3 and 24 hundredths, due to the fact that it is 3 whole numbers. So I'm going to erase that and get that one out of our way. Now what we got to do is think about what number is small and large. When we compare these two numbers, we know for certain that this one is smaller because it is 32 versus this one, which is 324. So we know at least that the 32 thousandths is smaller. So now really what we're doing is we're going to compare this number here. Well, 3 tenths and 32 thousandths is a different number. So what we got to kind of think about is we got to make sure that this number down here has the same denominator. Well, the way we can do that is by essentially multiplying it by 100. So I'm going to multiply this by 100, which becomes 1,000. I can multiply this by 100, which becomes 300. Well, now it's very, very apparent which number is bigger. We know that 324 thousandths is a bigger number. So what we can say is that 32 thousandths is a smaller number, 3/10ths is a bigger number, and then 324 thousandths is the next biggest number.